Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and felt invisible? Have you ever given your best and still felt overlooked? Have you ever been kind, loyal, available, and somehow ended up being the one people talk over, walk over, and step over? Listen to me. Respect is not about your height. It's not about your money. It's not even about your title. It's about your behavior. And some of you in this room, you are praying for respect while practicing habits that quietly destroy it. You're asking, why don't they value me? But the real question is, what are you tolerating? What are you allowing? What are you teaching people about how to treat you? Because hear me clearly, people don't disrespect you randomly. They disrespect the standards you fail to enforce. Today, I'm going to expose 6 behaviors, 6 silent habits that cause people to lose respect for you. Not because you're weak, not because you're incapable, but because somewhere along the way, you started shrinking when you should have been standing. And by the time we finish, you won't just feel inspired, you'll feel awakened. Let me tell you something about always needing everyone to like you. It will kill your respect faster than anything else. You see, when you are constantly looking over your shoulder, asking, do they like me? Do they approve of me? Am I enough? You are giving away your power. Every time you bend, adjust, justify, or explain yourself just to gain someone else's nod of approval, you are teaching people that your value is dependent on their opinion. And here's the truth: the moment you make your worth dependent on someone else's perception, you open the door for disrespect. You are no longer leading your life. Your life is leading you. You see, respect is not something people hand out. Respect is something you demand, something you command through your presence, your confidence, your actions. And if you're always seeking approval, you cannot command respect. You will get tolerated, maybe even liked, but never truly respected. And being liked is not the same as being respected. People can smile at you, nod to you, compliment you, and still walk all over you because they know you are hungry for their validation. They know that your yes is negotiable if it will earn their smile. They know that your standards bend under pressure, under judgment, under critique. And because of that, they push, they test, they overstep. You are not weak because you seek approval. You are human, but you become weak when seeking approval becomes a habit, when it becomes the lens through which you see every decision, every action, every word. The more you seek approval, the less you trust yourself. And the less you trust yourself, the more you shrink and the more people feel they can step on you. It is a silent signal. You don't even have to say it. Your behavior shouts it. The way you hesitate to speak your mind, the way you soften your opinions, the way you apologize before you even know if an apology is needed. It all screams, I need your validation to survive. But listen to me, survival is not the goal here. Thriving, commanding, and being respected, that is the goal. And respect begins inside you. You begin by affirming yourself, by trusting your own judgment, by being okay with not having everyone like you. You begin by saying, I am enough. I am worthy. My presence has value whether you approve or not. When you walk into a room with that energy, with that assurance, people notice it. They feel it. They can't ignore it. And the need for approval disappears. That is when people start respecting you. They may not always like you. They don't have to, because respect is earned, not granted by affection. Stop shrinking for people who won't stand tall for you. Stop bending to opinions that do not define your worth. Stop asking for permission to exist. When you release the habit of seeking approval, you take your power back. And when you take your power back, respect is no longer something you pray for. It is something you command. Let me be clear. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are your declaration that your life, your time, your energy, and your peace are not negotiable. And yet, so many of us walk around like doormats, letting people cross us, letting people take more than they give, letting people treat us like we exist to serve their convenience. And do you know what happens when you fail to set boundaries? People stop seeing you as a person. They start seeing you as an option. They start assuming that whatever you have, your patience, your kindness, your attention, is theirs for the taking. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, quietly, and sometimes you don't even notice until you're exhausted, frustrated, and hurt. But the truth is, the disrespect starts the moment you fail to draw the line. When you tolerate things that make you uncomfortable, when you allow others to speak to you in ways that diminish you, when you say yes out of fear instead of conviction, you are teaching the world how to treat you. People will always test the limits of your tolerance. They will push and push until they know exactly how far they can go. And if you don't have boundaries, they go as far as they want. You see, boundaries are not just about keeping people out. Boundaries are about defining yourself. Boundaries are about saying, this is who I am. This is what I will accept. And this is how I will be treated. Without them, you leave your respect at the mercy of someone else's mood, someone else's whims, someone else's selfishness. And I'm telling you, life will demand respect from you before anyone else gives it. It will push back. People will push you around. Situations will push you down. And if you have no boundaries, you will crumble under the weight of it all. But when you learn to set boundaries, everything changes. Suddenly you are no longer negotiable. Suddenly your energy is protected, your peace is sacred, and your presence is honored. People may not like it at first. They may resist. They may test you, try to guilt you, or manipulate you. But hear me, that is the moment you must stand firm. Boundaries are not about being harsh. They are about being clear. They are not about shutting people out. They are about opening the door to healthy relationships and closing it on toxicity. They are the invisible force field that commands respect without demanding it. And when you finally understand this, when you finally embrace the power of boundaries, people begin to take you seriously. They begin to recognize that you are not just a body in a room. You are a person with standards, with self-respect, with dignity. You become someone who is not easily pushed, not easily overlooked, not easily disrespected. So if you want respect, start with boundaries. Draw the line, protect your peace, declare your worth, and watch how people, even without a word from you, begin to treat you differently. Respect does not come to the weak who let life walk over them. Respect comes to those who stand firm and say, this far and no farther, over listen to me. Over explaining is one of the quietest killers of respect. It creeps in so subtly that most people don't even recognize it until it's too late. You see, when you constantly feel the need to justify yourself, to clarify every decision, to give a reason for every action, you are sending a very clear message to the world. I am uncertain. I am unsure. I need your approval. And people pick up on that. Every word you over-explain chips away at the authority you should carry naturally. Confidence doesn't need to defend itself. Power doesn't need to rationalize. Strength doesn't need to justify why it exists. But insecurity feels obligated to account for every little thing. And let me tell you, people will sense it immediately. They may smile, nod, and even say all the right things, but inside they are questioning you because you are showing them doubt. Over-explaining is a habit of the hesitant, the fearful, the people pleasers. You think that by giving too much information, by laying out every detail, by defending every choice, people will respect you. But respect is not born from explanations. Respect is born from clarity, decisiveness, and self-assurance. When you over-explain, you are literally telling people, I am not confident enough to trust my own words. I am not sure enough to let this stand on its own. And that is the exact moment they begin to take advantage of you. They begin to test your limits, to question your decisions, to undermine your authority. Over-explaining creates space for doubt to enter where none should exist. The truth is, the fewer words you need to justify yourself, the stronger your position becomes. When you speak with certainty, with purpose, with clarity, people listen. They feel it. They know that your words carry weight because you do not dilute them with unnecessary explanations. And you know what's even more powerful? When you let your actions speak louder than your words, stop trying to convince everyone why you are doing what you are doing. Let your results, your consistency, your integrity do the talking. That is how real respect is earned. People don't respect those who are always explaining They respect those who are always delivering, always performing, always standing firm in their convictions. So hear me clearly. The next time you feel the urge to over-explain, stop, take a breath. Stand in your authority. Let your confidence do the work. Let your clarity do the work. Let your presence do the work. Because the moment you stop over-explaining, the moment you stop justifying every little thing, you reclaim your power. And when you reclaim your power, respect is no longer something you chase. It is something you command. Let me tell you something about your word. Your word is not just a sound you make with your mouth. Your word is a reflection of your character, a declaration of your integrity, a contract with yourself and the world. And when you fail to keep your word, you are silently telling people, I am not reliable. I am not consistent. You cannot trust me. And do you know what happens when people can't trust you? They stop respecting you. Respect is not built on promises alone. It is built on consistency, on alignment between what you say and what you do. When you say one thing and act another, you erode the foundation of your credibility. People begin to question your intentions, your honesty, your authority. It doesn't matter how charismatic you are. It doesn't matter how brilliant you are. If your word is unreliable, your influence crumbles. And here's the painful truth. Many of us do this unconsciously. We say yes because it feels good in the moment. We promise because we don't want to disappoint. We agree because we want to be liked. But we forget the power of our commitments. Every broken promise, every unfulfilled obligation, every casual, I'll do it, that never materializes is a crack in the armor of your respect. People remember. They may smile, they may nod, they may pretend it didn't happen, but they remember. And the next time you speak, the weight of your word is lighter because it has been devalued. Respect is earned through consistency. When you keep your word, you demonstrate that you are trustworthy, reliable, and serious about who you are and what you stand for. People feel it, they sense it, they adjust their behavior accordingly. They begin to understand that when you say yes, it means yes. When you say no, it means no. And the power of that simple alignment cannot be overstated. Your word is your signature on the world. It is how people measure your integrity without even thinking. So if you want respect, start with your commitments. Be deliberate with what you promise. Be intentional with what you agree to. Do not give your word lightly, and once given, guard it fiercely. Protect it with your actions, your time, your effort. Because the moment your word loses value, your presence loses weight. People stop relying on you. They stop honoring you. They stop respecting you. And nothing else can compensate for a history of unreliability. But when you speak and act in alignment, when your promises are kept and your actions match your words, respect follows you like a shadow. People lean in. People listen. People honor your presence. Your word becomes a weapon of influence, a beacon of authority, and a symbol of who you are. So make your word sacred, treat it as a covenant, stand behind it with everything you are, and watch how the world begins to treat you with the respect you've been longing for. Let me be real with you. Avoiding confrontation out of fear is one of the fastest ways to lose respect. Now listen, I know fear. I know what it feels like to stay silent when your heart is screaming for your voice to be heard. I know the temptation to avoid conflict because it's uncomfortable, because it might upset people, because it might make you look difficult or rude. But here's the hard truth. Every time you avoid a necessary confrontation, you are sending a message that your peace, your dignity, and your boundaries are negotiable. And when you allow that, people notice it, they sense it, they test it, they push the limits of what they can take from you, and they will push farther than you ever imagined if you don't stand firm. Avoiding confrontation doesn't preserve peace. It creates chaos beneath the surface. It builds resentment inside of you. It teaches people that they can disrespect your time, your energy, and your presence without consequence. Fear of confrontation is a silent invitation for disrespect. You see, confrontation is not about being aggressive. It's not about starting fights or creating enemies. Confrontation, when done with clarity, with calm, with courage, is simply holding people accountable. It is saying, this behavior is not acceptable. I will not allow it in my life. I will not tolerate being diminished. And here's the key: when you confront with conviction, you are not losing people. You are defining the terms of your relationships. You are teaching others how to treat you. You are establishing a standard for your life. But when you shrink in the face of discomfort, when you let fear dictate your responses, you create a vacuum that others are more than willing to fill with disrespect. Avoiding confrontation out of fear tells people that you are pliable, that your boundaries are weak, that your voice can be silenced, and then the disrespect grows. It compounds, it multiplies. The people who should respect you, who should honor you, they begin to walk over you, not out of malice, but because you gave them permission. Confrontation is not optional. If you want respect, it is necessary. It is the bridge between being overlooked and being honored. It is the path from being taken for granted to being taken seriously. And here's the beauty of it: when you confront with courage, with integrity, with poise, something shifts. People lean back and take notice. They realize that your presence is not negotiable. Your dignity is not for debate. Your peace is not for sale. You begin to command the room not by anger, not by intimidation, but by the unwavering authority of someone who refuses to be disrespected. So do not shrink from confrontation. Do not allow fear to dictate your actions. Stand firm. Speak clearly. Hold people accountable. Protect your space. Protect your mind. Protect your heart. And watch how the world begins to honor the courage and the strength it took for you to finally say, enough is enough. Let me tell you something. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how the world treats you. If you settle, if you compromise your worth, if you accept less than what you deserve, you are teaching people exactly what they are allowed to take from you. And I don't care what your intentions are. I don't care how nice you think you're being. Accepting less is a silent invitation for disrespect. People pay attention to what you allow, not what you preach. They watch the boundaries you enforce, the standards you uphold, and the value you place on yourself. And when you accept less than you deserve, they notice. They adjust their behavior. They start taking more. They start testing the limits. They begin to assume that whatever they want from you, they are entitled to it. And it doesn't always come from malicious intent. Sometimes it comes from ignorance, sometimes from carelessness. But make no mistake, disrespect grows in the spaces where people see self-neglect. Respect is not something you beg for. Respect is something you demand. By how you walk, by how you carry yourself, by what you will and will not tolerate. If you settle for crumbs in your relationships, in your career, in your friendships, in your family, then you are silently telling the world that your value is negotiable. And when value becomes negotiable, respect disappears. You see, deserving is not about ego. It's not about arrogance. It's about clarity. It's about recognizing your own worth and refusing to compromise it for comfort, for fear, or for convenience. It's about saying, I will no longer settle for treatment that diminishes me, for opportunities that undervalue me, for love that degrades me. And here's the powerful truth. When you start demanding what you deserve, when you start aligning your life with your worth, people take notice. The energy changes, the room changes, the relationships change, and the disrespect that once seemed normal begins to evaporate. People learn very quickly that you will no longer tolerate less than you deserve. They learn that your peace, your dignity, your time, and your value are not up for negotiation. And the beauty of it is, it all starts inside of you. You cannot demand the world to treat you with honor if you are not treating yourself with honor first. You cannot command respect from others if you are giving yourself permission to settle for mediocrity. So hear me clearly. Stop accepting less. Stop apologizing for what you need. Stop compromising your standards for comfort, for fear, or for approval. Stand tall, walk in your worth, speak from your value, and watch how the world responds. Because when you finally refuse to accept less than you deserve, respect becomes automatic. People see you differently. People treat you differently. People honor you differently. And the power, the authority, the dignity, it all comes back to the simple act of recognizing that you are worth more than what you've been settling for. Now listen to me, because I want you to hear this in your soul. Respect is not given. Respect is not borrowed. Respect is earned, demanded, and guarded with everything you are. And if you've been walking around wondering why people step over you, why people talk down to you, why people take you for granted, I just gave you the answer, is not them. It is the habits you have tolerated. It is the behaviors you have allowed. It is the standards you have compromised. You see, when you stop seeking approval, when you set your boundaries, when you stop over-explaining, when you keep your word, when you confront what needs confronting, and when you finally stop accepting less than you deserve, everything changes. The energy in the room changes. The way people look at you changes. The way they speak to you changes. You stop being an option and you become a force. You stop being overlooked and you start being honored. And hear me now, this is your moment. This is your declaration. From this day forward, let no one, no situation, and no behavior diminish you. Stand tall, speak boldly, guard your value, command your space. Respect will chase you because you finally demand it. And when you do this, watch the world step aside, because greatness does not wait for permission.